Welcome to episode 405. I hope you are absolutely great today, and as always, you can always go to josephclough.info/go. That's josephclough.info/go to see if it's something that we can do for you. And in today's episode, I did mention on the previous episode about how we generalize information, but more than that, I want to go a little bit deeper. Okay, so the mind is a beautiful and wonderful thing, and it can cause us to see reality in a weird, wonderful, crazy, sometimes very bad way. And we can use it for good, and we can use it unconsciously for bad. In other words, to create more pain. Now, of course, the whole intention of each one of these episodes is to hopefully support you in getting out of pain, or at the very least to show you along the way there is an alternative narrative that you could take, a different path, a different story that will set you free. So in this episode, we're going to talk about that. You see, when you go throughout your day, you're not seeing the world objectively. You just can't do it because you bring in certain thoughts to the situation. You bring in certain mindsets. Whatever you perceive, you are projecting what is out there. Now that sounds crazy, I know, but our perception is our projection. Now what do I mean by that, and why is it important? Well, the small what it is, ultimately as we go through life, we were once blank and now we're kind of seeing the world based on our experience to a greater degree, right? Now, why it's important to know this is once you get that inside information, you can begin to change it. You can begin to see things differently. So when we go into this whole thought process, be open-minded and consider a new subjective way of seeing the world. Because in any given moment, as we go into the details now, we're taking in billions of bits of information around us. Like there's always things in our environment that our brain is trying to take in. Now, of those 2 billion bits, how do you think that you try to make sense out of those? Well, it's by our modalities. In other words, our visual, so our eyes, our auditory, which is our hearing, our gustatory, which is our taste, our olfactory, which is our smell, our nose, and then we have our touch, the kinesthetic. So through our 5 senses, and regardless of any other senses we think we have, because they've been proven to have, I think it's like, wasn't it like 21 kind of senses, like deeper ones, or subsections? But let's just keep it simple for a second. We have our 5 senses. We're taking in the whole world around us. Now, not only that, but we are then filtering out that information through little filters. Now, one filter could be your belief systems. And let me show you that. Let's just say you've gone through a situation X amount of times and the conclusion of that situation is, I'm not good enough. So that's your belief system about yourself. The next time you go into that situation, how are you going to see that situation? How are you going to experience it? Probably from the belief system of I'm not good enough. So the I'm not good enough belief will change how you see that future situation or that present situation you're in. So our beliefs will definitely have an effect. Now, if we think about other factors, it could be our values. Maybe you're not very monetary orientated. Maybe you're not really into money. Well, if you're not, that's probably going to dictate if you are abundant or not. Doesn't mean we have to be poor, but if you don't have a value for money, you're not motivated to receive it too. Or maybe your value for money is so tainted with negativity that you are rejecting it from your experience. You're not seeing the abundance all around you. So our values are the things which motivate us, and those values that we hold within us will change how we see the situation, our environment, how we act and react. That changes our subjective reality. Someone could be in the exact same situation, but let's just say they have a high, clean, ethical value for money. They might see it as an opportunity. They might see it as pleasure, whereas someone else who doesn't might just feel pain. So depending on the quality of the values, now those values were instilled within us, maybe from childhood, from our parents. Maybe if our parents said money doesn't grow on trees, or money is the root of all evil, maybe you absorb that value within yourself, or maybe through the experiences you went through, it caused you to come to that conclusion with your values. So we now know our beliefs and our values will change how we see the world. But what else? Well, I did mention our past. So maybe our past experiences, if, like I said, if you have X amount of bad experiences, the most likely logical conclusion that you're going to come to will be your previous experience. That's your map. That's your past map. So that you try to think, well, if that happened in the past, it's probably going to happen in the future. It's how our brain works. We're not going to really think of alternative conclusions because we've been through some in the past, and if it were negative or positive conclusions, we're going to expect more of the same. We also have other little traits, like our personality, like how our personality is. If we're an introvert or we're an extrovert, that's going to change how you perceive a situation. It's going to change your subjective viewpoint. And this will go for everything. This will be the creator and the maker of the issues that we have, from the confidence to the anxiety, because we know right now if we have a limiting belief based on our past experience and we have a poor negative set of values and maybe we're an introvert, maybe we're not going to go for that opportunity. In fact, we might delete the whole situation. We might not even see it. Because have you ever lost your keys? And you kept on saying to yourself, I can't see my keys. I can't find my keys. I have lost them. What happens? We don't have them. We can't see them in our environment. So we really understand and know that our beliefs, our values, our memories of the past, our personality traits have a huge impact on how we see the world. So our brain is trying to decode the information based on that kind of formatting or that kind of software in our mind. It's trying to figure things out based on your inner workings. Now, let's go a little bit deeper, because let's just say we have beliefs, we have those values, we have those personality traits, the memories, and there's obviously more there as well, but just to there's some brief ones. What actually really happens? Well, we're distorting reality. We're distorting how we see the world. That is why you can go into a situation and totally distort it. Someone else can go, I didn't even notice that. I didn't even experience that. Or maybe you say the exact same thing because someone was distorting it differently or less so. So you can distort the way that you see the world. You can really think about it, right? A real life example. If someone suffers from, say, anorexia, they could go to the doctor, get all the medical results, see pictures, look in the mirror, be weighed, yet that person with anorexia may distort their own internal self-image, that they don't see that in the mirror, they don't see that in the weighing scales, they don't see that in the medical results, and it can be crazy dangerous for people. And now from the outside, you might be going, but it's impossible, but still true. So we can distort situations, but also on top of that, if we can distort, just like the keys, we can delete. We can delete aspects of what we see out there. or hear or feel, smell and taste, but we can delete our experience. You could be deleting so much, just like losing those keys, and they're always there in front of you in your field of vision. They were there, but you deleted them. So I wonder, maybe if you're looking in for a newspaper for a new job, maybe if that person or you have that limiting belief of, I'm not capable, do you think it's possible that you might actually miss out on some of those listings because you already prejudged unconsciously? I'm not saying consciously, but unconsciously just caused your eyes to go over it quickly because you didn't feel good enough. You didn't feel capable. So ask yourself, I wonder what actually I am deleting and I'm distorting based on the beliefs that I hold about myself. Maybe when it comes to the distortion, we think money is a bad thing. So therefore, anyone who does good with money, we jump to the conclusion, well, they must be bad though. They must be doing something. Maybe about deleting, that same thing, right? We're deleting maybe the good things they've done because we've just pinpointed on the one thing which changes everything. Almost like I said, you could go for, I think I said on this episode or the previous one, but you could have the most fabulous day, the most brilliant day. And then at the end of the day, something bad happens. You make a mistake. You beat yourself up. And the conclusion of that, you go, the whole day was horrible. Because that would be the third one. That would be generalizing. You see, we delete information, we distort information, but we always generalize. And do you see what I said there? I said we always generalize. And that is a generalization. What are other generalizations? When we say things like all people, or all this, when we say things like I said, always, never, these are all generalizations. Good things never happen to me. What, never happened to you? Not one good thing? And then when you check yourself, you're like, yeah, of course, but in that moment, never did good things happen to me. Or I always fail. Well, you always failed? I don't think so. Not always failed. So we always generalize to a degree. I mean, I always fall in for it because it is a true experience that we go through. But when we generalize information based on our present and past experience, our beliefs, then it will change how we see it. We could go look for that job, see the job this time, but we go, well, I always fail in interviews, or people always let me down, or I always mess up. I always feel never good enough. I'm always going to be like this. I will never change. These are what we call like a little add-on here when it comes to like the NLP world, at least. When we say sentences like universal quantifiers, that's what it's called. It's crazy. I don't quite like the long, big words like that. But these are when we're always going like that. Always. Never. These are just generalizations, and we say it in our conversation. We can jump to big conclusions. If this happened, it means X, Y, Z. You being late means you don't love me. Now, is that the biggest deletion, distortion, and generalization? Of course it is. But you, myself, and everyone else has used those same kind of words and sentences. Is it truth? Absolutely not. It is your own present experience, your subjective viewpoint, but it is not the objective experience. We are projecting, perceiving what is going on in our inner mind. It's almost like we're creating an internal representation of what we think is true based on the evidence that we have. So ask yourself, what am I deleting throughout my day? Am I deleting the good things? Am I deleting the good things I have done today? Am I distorting myself Am I distorting others and distorting the situation? Am I generalizing my past experience into my future? Am I causing it to hold me back? Now, the thing we need to get to is the conscious part. You can be consciously aware of these. The more you're conscious, because these do happen unconsciously, you can be more aware. And that can make a shift. Sometimes we need an intervention, something more personalized for you, something more custom for you. Sometimes seeing one person one-to-one. So I'm not going to say, look, this solves everything. But it's a good bit of information to know that we are deleting creatures. We are distorting creatures. We are absolutely generalizers of our own personal experience. But when you get that inside knowledge, I wonder what would happen if you could distort your situation to wealth. I wonder if you can distort it into abundance. That when even bad things happen, you've got that unshakable distortion of greatness is coming your way. Not in a way which is just lying, but a more convenient mindset. Maybe we can generalize good things. Think about it. If you've ever had a good system, a good strategy within you, and you just know that you're always good at that one thing, you are absolutely generalizing greatness right there. Because you go, I'm good at this, it's going to happen, it's going to be great. So we do it for good, we do it for bad. It's all subjective, right? It's only our interpretation of what is good and bad. We're just generalizing, deleting, and distorting. But it is, on a subjective level, sometimes negative, sometimes good. But what if you can make the negative into the good? What if you can start to see more information by no longer deleting it, taking more evidence in based on the objectivity of it rather than the subjectivity? Now, of course, it's going to be always subjective because we always bring our own stuff into it. But if we do it less so, we're going to get better, cleaner, more profound results. If we start to generalize, or let's just say let go of the negative generalizations and start creating and radiating good generalizations, great gratitude, then greatness and goodness and gratitude is coming your way too. And the same thing goes for deleting, distorting, generalizing. All of them are the exact same way. So I want you to get that, because those deletions, distortions, and generalizations creates a lot of reasons for us. It holds us back. They can create excuses. They can create conflicts. But now you have the insider's mindset. You can be conscious of this. Although it's an unconscious process, the more knowledge you have, the more insights you have, which is going to be another episode, by the way, insights, because all knowledge and insight comes from within. It's not outside, it's inside. So we'll get there on another episode, I'm sure. But now you know the clarity. You know what you're doing. So the next question is, what are you doing about it? When are you going to stop it? What are you going to do? And what will happen when you do? So enjoy that. Ponder on it. Maybe make a decision to be different now. And as always, if you want to transform with us as a team, as a unit, go to josephclough.info/go, because you might find something fabulous and profound coming your way. If it's a good fit for both of us, for us and the team and you, then we'll definitely show you how we can bridge that gap from where you are to the unstoppable, profound, wonderful you, because it's there for you. So go to josephclough.info/go, and with that, have a most wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Many thanks, and goodbye.